right, good morning all. And first of all, I want to thank the National Gallery, the Cayman and Mark for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here and to be part of this discussion. What I want to talk about is really just a snapshot of the sort of things that we have been doing at the National Gallery to improve audience engagement and to really move towards this sort of inclusive, essential museum that we really want to be. Before I do so, I just want to give a snapshot of the National Gallery's history. So the National Gallery of Jamaica was established in 1974. Was originally located at Devon House, which is a mansion just north of New Kingston, if you're familiar with the Kingston layout. And it has an interesting history in that sense, that it was the first plantation-style mansion in Jamaica to be owned and built and owned by a black Jamaican. The National Gallery was moved from that location in 1982 to what was meant to be a temporary location while the new state-of-the-art National Gallery building was going to be constructed. That never happened. So we're in this building permanently now, and we have big plans to develop and expand that building and bring it in line with international museum standards, which it now sort of marginally meets. One of the advantages of the building is that we basically have 30,000 square feet of exhibition space, which is far more than most such institutions in the Caribbean have, and that there is significant scope for expansion. We are located on the Kingston waterfront, which is both an asset and a liability. It is an asset in the sense that we can be part of the urban renewal projects that are taking place in Jamaica now to bring downtown Kingston back to life. It is a liability, as we found out last week when we were under a watch for Hurricane Matthew, with the possibility of a 15 feet storm surge, which would basically have inundated our first floor in its entirety. So there will have to be some thinking about how to deal with the natural disaster part of things. Some shots that give you an idea of our interior spaces. Downstairs is pretty much sort of a contemporary museum look. Upstairs, which is what you see over here, where our permanent exhibitions are, and to some extent used to be, is much more dated, kind of has a very 1980s feel, and you get a sense now of how the space has to be brought up to date to be fully functional, because I don't like Warren-like spaces, and it very much is a Warren of small galleries at the present time. We also have a branch in Montego Bay, which opened 2 years ago in 2004, National Gallery West. It is a joint venture with various entities, and we are not the only museum in the building. We share it with National Museum West, which is a branch of National Museum Jamaica. It is located in a Georgian building, the old courthouse in Montego Bay, a beautiful building. And we have what is basically a separate building at the back. One large gallery space with movable walls and a beautiful dome on top of it. Not a very traditional gallery space. But a really gorgeous one that has many opportunities for us. What I will talk about today now is basically a snapshot of our exhibitions program. I cannot talk about all our recent exhibitions, but I will focus on an exhibition series called the Explorations series. And basically, it came out of our desire to re-engage with the history of Jamaican art and to tell it in a different kind of way. Because although a lot of valuable work had been done by the National Gallery in its early history, the general approach to curatorship was very didactic and very sort of authoritative, in a very sort of, the exhibition as a lesson, to which you are to subject yourself as a solemn obligation. So we wanted to bring an element of dialogue, of play, of interrogation, of uncertainty even, leaving things open to various interpretations. So we have done 4 of the so-called explorations exhibitions, and those exhibitions really are designed to explore big themes and issues in Jamaican art and culture, and when I say Jamaican, I mean that in the broadest sense of the word, as we will soon see. And it's an open-ended series. Pretty much any subject that is of interest to the local context can be, or to the diasporal context also, can be added. So we've done 4 thus far. The first one was proposed by Nicole Smythe Johnson, who is here in the audience with us today. And it really came out of our 2012 National Biennial, where it was observed that there were a lot of contemporary artworks that dealt with natural history issues as a subject. So out of that came what was essentially a collaboration between ourselves and the Natural History Museum, whereby natural history as a subject, as a form of engagement, as a practice in terms of the forms of classification were dealt with. The second one was perhaps a more obvious choice in the Jamaican context, which is to look at religion and spirituality. The second one consisted entirely of works of art from our collection, which just shows how big that subject really is in Jamaican art. But it also looked at religion and spirituality in the broadest possible sense, including the political implications. The fourth one was an exhibition called 7 Women Artists, and basically what we did was to ask the question, are the discussions about women's art that have circulated internationally, are those relevant in the Jamaican context, where women play proportionately as we can see in this audience, and as you can see elsewhere in the Caribbean, a much higher role, a much larger role in the cultural sector, and what are the social dynamics that surround that. So we basically chose 7 mid-career female artists, and we explored that question through their work. And then the final one in the explorations exhibitions per se was one called Masculinities, where we looked at a very contentious issue of how masculinity is defined, and masculinities, I mean it was deliberately pluralized, defined and represented in Jamaican art and visual culture, basically from the colonial period to the present. Now, all these exhibitions, well, some of them, all of them had named curators, but the curation was very dialogue-based. It was really brainstorming-based, which is the methodology that we use for most of our exhibitions. The exhibitions were all designed also to engage the audience in dialogue and in conversation, really asking questions rather than to provide answers. And then also they were designed to bring the historical, the modern, the contemporary into dialogue with each other rather than to segregate them, as often happens in the Caribbean context, and also to extend that to the field of science, to the field of visual culture more broadly, material culture and so on. So the whole concept is dialogue-based. There are 2 related exhibitions that I will also briefly mention. One and both of them this year, because we kind of can't use the term explorations endlessly. It sort of becomes a joke after a while. We have explorations 5, 6, 217, and so on. But we could be going on with that. So one was an exhibition simply called Digital, which looked at art and digital media, and which was based on an open call for submissions from artists throughout the Caribbean diaspora. We got a very good response. And one of the reasons why we did that also is because one of our frustrations with reaching out to the Caribbean and its diaspora is cost, always. One of the advantages of digital art when it travels digitally. And so you can deal with, you don't have to deal with customs, you don't have to deal with shipping expenses in most instances. And it worked really well. And then the last one is presently on. It's an exhibition called Kingston. It's part of a series of exhibitions on the city of Kingston that look at urbanity and the development of the role of the city of Kingston in the development of Jamaican art. I should also say that these exhibitions are also part of a broader exercise of us trying to rethink how Jamaican art history is narrated by means of those open-ended themes rather than the sort of chronological structure. Because in the past, our permanent exhibitions were organized on a very kind of rigid period and a decade by decade kind of basis, and life and art does not unfold itself in decades, and sort of the thematic structure, the labeling that was attached to it also turned out to be quite limited. So I'm just going to show you some images from each exhibition. So this is Natural Histories, where it all started. A work by Ebony Patterson. It was actually a large video installation with 3 channels, so you see a still from the middle image, and it really looked at gender constructions by virtue of these sort of imaginary half-man, half-bird creatures, and it raised questions of who's male, who's female, the roles in child rearing, the relationship to nature, of course, and so on. Another work from that same series was also in the biennial, so that shows this kind of carryover between the biennial exhibition the year before and this exhibition. Historical images were used. Mrs. Hudson's documentation of Jamaican natural history. Earlier works by Jamaican artists such as Colin Garland, famous reliquary, who uses the sort of classificatory systems, in a sense, that natural history uses. And then a very exciting object, which Nicole and O'Neill found at the Natural History Division, a wood sample cabinet. So it's basically a library shelf, but instead of books, it has samples of all the different types of woods found in Jamaica. Some are missing now, as you can see. But it was part of the 1891 Jamaica Exposition, and it really was designed, that cabinet was designed to produce to illustrate how Jamaican natural resources could be exploited economically. That was the basic principle behind it. The second explorations exhibition, Religion and Spirituality, and deliberately starting with this one, because as you can see, it was not only about religion and spirituality in the narrow sense. We also looked at how ideas, images, iconographies travel from the religious and spiritual to the social, the political, and so on. Then coming back to the more traditionally spiritual with Edward Brown, self-taught artist, Osmond Watson, again merging the political, the racial, and the religious. Renee Cox, again bringing the political into the equation. She, in this series of work, represented herself as Nanny of the Maroons. I mean, Nanny was this historical female leader of one of the Maroon communities in Jamaica, wearing the red coat of the British militia, a very subversive act, of course, and carrying a machete. Always a dangerous weapon. The third explorations exhibition was 7 women artists. And we deliberately went for artists who both coincided with ideas that circulate about women's art and what it is expected to be, but also artists who defy that. And O'Neill Lawrence curated this exhibition. We deliberately chose a male curator to sort of disrupt and disturb the concept. And it worked very well, because he kind of looked at it in a way that perhaps a female curator wouldn't have. Jasmine Thomas Burman, Barrett Macaulay, so all mid-career people, none of whom had gotten significant exposure at the National Gallery, so it was also an opportunity for us to address that. I mean, who tends to get exhibited over and over again, who tends to be left out of the equation. And then the last to date in the exploration series, Masculinities. Here, a photograph from 1901 that shows, in rather unexpected ways, although the subject is botanical garden, that shows the development of black dandyism in the early 20th century. You see the figure right here. I maintain that this is R2D2. Well, this time travel and all, so you never know, right? But a very interesting photograph in terms of how that male figure, and there's a secondary figure here, how they are positioned in the landscape. At the time, the black middle class was emerging in Jamaica, other examples, and we really mix it up in those exhibitions. I mean, we freely combine things from across history and across genres. So Edna Manley, one of our best-known artists, of course, whose representation of black masculinity as a white female artist raises some very, very interesting questions. Albert Huey, who uses the black male body as a metaphor for the exploitation of the island in the tourism context on the right hand. Archie Lindo, very long story, but basically what it illustrates is that despite the homophobia that Jamaica is unfortunately known for, that there is a queer history in Jamaica which goes back for a very long time, that there are queer subcultures in Jamaica which have always been there to some extent and which appear in art and need to be uncovered and discussed. Another example, looking at the intersection between fashion photography and art. And then to finish, a quick glimpse at the digital exhibition, just some examples. Ian Walker, an artist of Jamaican descent who lives in the UK. So we had a lot of GIFs, we had a lot of animations, video pieces and so on, as is to be expected. Rodelle Warner from Trinidad. Olivia McGilchrist, a Jamaican-born artist who presently lives in Canada. Catherine Kennedy from Barbados, and stop animation, very interesting work. And then the youngest of the lot, a 19-year-old artist who, out of the blue, submitted work that turned out to be among the most popular in that exhibition. And that really also illustrates the sort of democratization of art that has happened in the digital world. You know, that really it is accessible to practically everybody, and sometimes with really surprising results. And then the final exhibition, the one that is on view right now, which looks at Kingston, a work by Carl Abrams, artist from mid-20th century in Jamaica, that looks at the destruction of the city of Port Royal by an earthquake, which led to the establishment of the city of Kingston, so there is a direct relationship. The city of Kingston was also destroyed by an earthquake in 1907, so the idea of moving to safer terrain didn't quite work out the way it was planned. Laura Face's very controversial redemption song monument, which is the de facto monument to emancipation. I mean, the representation of emancipation in the Jamaican context is sort of a no-win situation, and this monument has been as controversial as any other monument, I think, would have been. You know, I think it comes with the terror. But here the nudity and the passivity of the figure was a major issue. Taking us back into the 19th century, I have Mendes Belisario looking at street life in Kingston, and particularly the creolization and the exchanges that were taking place, because this is part of the Jonkanu festival traditions, but it actually represents a band that came from Haitian Creoles who moved to Jamaica after the Haitian Revolution. So it shows the sort of exchanges, the inter-island exchanges that were taking place. And then a contemporary example, the Andre Caprice Davis, Chaotic Beauty, one of our up-and-coming artists in the field of digital art, who looks at the very chaotic urban landscape of Kingston in this sort of very abstracted terms. I'll leave it here. That's it. Thank you.